talk to them, we teach them, and we guide them as we go.
That's very important.
Yes.
So, aside from those experiences that you face daily, I'm sure daily, or it varies from time to time, what are some other challenges that you have encountered in your teaching career?
The big one I really have to say is parents. That's a big one. I try to do a quick turnaround when the parents message me, right? But it's been a lot of, if you ask me what's the hardest part, it's that. It's not the kids, it's not the work, it's not anything. It's just to getting them to understand that what your intent is as a teacher, right? There's teachers that come into this profession and they teach and they're just like, it's just a job, right? They don't have their whole heart in it. But some of us, like myself, I mean, our heart is in this, right? Like this isn't just a job to me. So I guess getting that intent across to parents, because there's some that they want you to be like constantly just looking at their child all day. And as much as I would want to, their child has other teachers, right? They have fine arts, they have other teachers that they go to. So as much as I try to protect them, or Miss S tries to protect them, it's not always the case that we want something to happen, but sometimes it does, right? And that is like accidental, or that doesn't always happen, that it's our fault, right? So I guess just communicating with parents like your intent, and then communicating with parents like if they send you a message, I always think it doesn't hurt me to spend those 2 to 5 minutes in responding, right? Why am I going to wait till the next day when the parent could get a whole lot more heated and a whole lot more upset at what's going on, or just the question they would have had with me, rather than just dealing with it in a respectful manner and getting it over with. And obviously, you know, you as the teacher set the tone for that, you know, because obviously if they're heated, it's going to kind of make you heated and say like you're going to want to respond. But from what I've learned and what I've seen is, you know, if somebody's heated, the best thing for you to do is just state all the facts, not emotions, right? Because obviously emotions doesn't really matter, but just state the facts and state everything that you're trying to get across, and the point that you're trying to get across in a meaningful way, and that gets them to understand. Of course, you know, I've had maybe one situation before that many years ago that I was like, oh my goodness, this parent made me want to quit just because of that one parent, you know. I mean, of course I saw the bigger picture in it, but you have those moments of like, they are horrible moments, right? But it's one of those things that I think prayer helps a lot, and just kind of really thinking to yourself, is it worth getting upset about? And if it's not, then I say just deal with it and let it go, right? The next day is a new day.
So don't take anything personally, and communication would be a big one.
Communication is key with
communicate effectively with parents.
Right, and also like just that quick turnaround, like I said, because if you get information right and you're a teacher and you already know that this is something you got to send, I mean, I really try to like get the information and send it right away, because then I forget, right? I mean, it's human error that you forget. There was one time I did, oh my gosh, I remember, I forgot to send something, it was a couple years back, I forgot to send something that we were going to have, I don't know, these festivities for the next week, and it was like a calendar of events, and I forgot to send it. Well, I remember I sent it like on a Sunday, and the parent was like, well, why couldn't you have sent it earlier? And again, human error, right? We're not perfect. And I explained to the parent, Miss, you know, I'm so sorry, this was never my intent, you know, I did have a lot of stuff going on, and obviously the parent understood, right? But if you don't communicate that with them right away, it's like, for one, you can forget. Two, it's just kind of best practice now, just to kind of, once it's like out there, like you're just safer that way, in my mind. Just, you get the information, communicate it with them, you avoid problems, and as far as if they have any questions, just kind of answering it right away. So just to avoid any issues.
I can see why that's important, because you give the parent also the peace of mind, or you acknowledged what the issue was, and you handled it to the best of your ability at that moment.
Yes.
It really helps.
Yes.
Now, as far as lesson planning, we kind of briefly talked about it, but what do you recommend for someone to have their lessons be effective? Because it's not just a matter of having the children have assignments, but also how do you base it, like on their needs, or do you base it on strictly curriculum, or what are some things that you consider when lesson planning?
Okay, so for one, we do have curriculum writers. We have curriculum writers for pretty much all subjects. Some are a little bit more intentional than others, like our science is still being worked on, our social studies is still being worked on, but our real strong ones are like math and reading, right? So with that, our curriculum writers do create slides for you. They do create like a scope and sequence. Give me 1 second, I'm so sorry.
It's probably she's not. Let me go to.
So we do have like curriculum writers that do focus on those particular content areas, and as they focus on those content areas, like you have your slides and you have all your material that's pretty much provided for you, along with a week at a glance and a year at a glance kind of scope and sequence. I know back in the day we would do like specific lesson plans, right? And you would turn them in and all of this stuff. It's kind of moved on from that because it's kind of repetitive over something that we're already kind of doing every day. So now we focus more on just internalizing those lessons and planning weekly. Like we have weekly PLCs with our grades, and with those during your conference times, you kind of dive into the lessons and kind of look at them and kind of prepare for them. However, I would say again, you have to look at them daily. Even, I mean, in the beginning of the year during recess time, I would take my TE and I would analyze this Bluebonnet math curriculum, because some of the times it's like if you're not studying it, if you're not really understanding it, you're going to have a lot of questions. Do I say like do a full-blown lesson plan to where you're writing everything and doing like the double work of what already is on the slides? I would say no. I don't think that that's a good intent, but I would say just, you know, continue with whatever. Give me 1 second, guys. Continue with whatever it is that your district is telling you to do, because I know like us, we have to do kind of like the lesson cycle and just all of the components with it, right? As long as you're kind of doing that, I would say, you know, you would get with your team and you would plan accordingly. But kind of like the old way where you would do like all that writing and stuff, that's really not beneficial for you, because it's just at least it's time consuming, but it's not effective, if that makes any sense. Because now it's like if all of the work is already and all the materials already kind of given to you, why would you want to do more work for yourself,
Right.
rather than be able to prepare and coordinate different activities that might be a little bit more intentional to the lesson.
And do you normally stick to the way it is, or do you make accommodations according to the students' needs, or is it strictly the way it is?
No, I mean, you obviously have your differentiated instruction, your small group, your intervention, whether it is that you see a student needs more help than others. At that point, you do have your intervention time throughout the day where you would pull those students if they don't understand the concept, or kind of just gauge, like, because I know we have a lot of that too, like with tests, that if you gauge that somebody probably wouldn't perform as well kind of as a whole group, then you kind of see and kind of monitor those students to how can I assist them, right? Or what is it that I can do as a teacher to reinforce the skill or reinforce the concept, right? Whether it is to reteach it again and to that specific student. But that's where you have like your intervention time, or even just any moment of the day that you're actually available to reiterate the skill or the concept with that one or to 5 students, like you're able to do that as well.
Okay. So in the past, did you ever have a mentor when you started your teaching career? You mentioned that you did not.
I did not.
So how did you manage to get through your, let's say, your first years of teaching? How did you manage to?
Crying. I would cry. I mean, I did. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, my first year, I'm a very nervous person. As much as people don't see it, back in the day, wow, I was like, oh, it was a lot of nerves, and I would cry, or I would just be like, oh my god, every day, like, you know, because every day is a new challenge, right? And it's just like when you look at your retirement and you're just like, oh my god, I have so many more years to retire, because first it was a roll of 80, then it was a roll of 90, but I didn't have a mentor, so you were like a sink or swim type of thing, you know, and you had to keep afloat, right? And because with this district, it was so new. I mean, it wasn't new, but it was like, it was constantly changing, right? It was constantly changing. And it's like I tell the girls that I work with, you know, because sometimes we're stressed over different things, and I'm like, I've been with this district for so many years. I've been through maybe about 9 to 10 principals in the 17 years that I've been here, and things are always changing, and that's okay, right? That is fine. But there was two people that really believed in me when it was that I was working in this campus, which was Miss Ruth Salinas, she was my principal, and Miss Rebecca Youngberg, which was my assistant principal. Those two ladies, when I was doing my master's, helped me so much, guided me, were able to explain to me different things, and they framed the person who I am today. Because without those ladies, like, I don't think I would have been as knowledgeable, as confident, and willing to put myself out there as I am now if it wasn't for them. They were just so kind-hearted, very understanding. Miss Salinas which was my principal at the time, she told me, I need you to go back for your master's. I need you to be a principal. And you know, I've had opportunities or you know, been asked different times, you know, to apply for principal. I don't think God has that in store for me yet. And you know, when he does, I mean, I know he'll open that door, or when I'm ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also it's God's timing is perfect, but I just, without them, it was like things would be so different. My mindset would have been so different, and the love and patience and guidance that they gave me was amazing, and I couldn't have asked for better mentors, even though they weren't my mentor early on. But just the fact that they helped me so much when I was here, and for all those years, it made all the difference. And I still, like, from time to time, I'll speak to Miss Salinas, and you know, I'm like, I'm thinking of you, and just the kindest, most loving person. And Miss Youngberg too, I still speak with her, and I always tell her, like, oh, if it wasn't for you, because everything that they taught and everything that you got to experience when they were admin, it was just incredible. But I'm pretty sure that they touched so many lives, because they were just amazing individuals.
That's nice.
So it's a good thing to have, like, when you have like that support system, or somebody that's willing to teach you. Because like, I've been a mentor to somebody else, and I know that they're like, oh my God, Molina had it like this and had it like this, and you know, it makes you feel good when you're able to provide somebody that knowledge and stuff like that. And I always tell, like, my girls, my team, if you have anything, like any questions, concerns, I'm always here to help. I'm always here to lend a helping hand and to guide somebody, because you always want to pass that knowledge along, right? Some people this education field is different for others, right? So we just always want to be considerate and open to helping everybody else. And I think you'll get blessed for it.
Absolutely. Lastly, so we can conclude our interview, what advice do you have for an aspiring teacher like myself? What are your thoughts? What is your advice for someone like me?
1 second.
Yes.
I would say, love this profession. Learn to love it. Go in with an open mind, and an open heart too. You know, because I'm not going to tell you that there's not going to be tears. I'm not going to tell you that there's not going to be moments where you're heartbroken, or you're sad, or you're mad, or you're frustrated. But I would say to pray about it. I would say find a good support system, and just know that everything will pass. Right? It's just sometimes things are momentarily, like in the moment, but you'll do amazing. And this is an amazing profession that does change lives, but you do have to love it. If you don't love it, it'll be hard. So that's the only thing. Go in with an open heart and open mind, and be ready to work. If you're not ready to work, it's gonna be hard. I tell people all of that. Like, you know, I'm not lazy. I'm not one that's lazy or anything like that, you know, and so I don't find it hard or challenging, right? But it will be hard and challenging for somebody who's not ready to work and not emotionally ready to do this. So just love what you do.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and thank you. I look forward to continuing to receive your guidance and your advice.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, thank you.